Welcome to this conversation where Bot will feature participants that went through our 8-week immersive tech cohort program. Today, our conversation will be featuring Victoria Smith. Victoria, thank you so much for coming onto our episode.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here.
So Victoria, before we kind of get started, can you just kind of tell people a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I graduated from UCF with a business degree. I was in just doing regular jobs. One was like with an insurance company before, and then before that, it was with like freelance event work. And so during that time, I just realized like I really wanted to kind of like change gears and change careers. And then I stumbled upon Bot, and so it was very helpful. You guys definitely taught me a lot during that time. Like right after work, I'll just come here and log on and do the work with you guys and get that hands-on experience that I had never gotten before. Mm-hmm. So it was very helpful.
That is awesome. So can you kind of tell us a little bit of like, what was the tech cohort program that you took?
It was for the Salesforce admin, and it was actually with Tiffany. So it was very great. It was like during after work hours. So I'm thinking like 6 p.m. So we actually worked with a charity, I believe Women on the Rise. So it was really good, where we kind of built out their Salesforce org and put in the volunteers and shifts and things of that nature. And just getting that one-on-one kind of consulting thing too. So it was very helpful in that aspect.
That is really cool. So basically, you also touched on the fact that you did a couple of things prior to the Salesforce cohort program. So you did insurance and you were doing some freelancing work. So can you kind of tell me like, what was it that made you feel like, what, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to focus on like something tech related.
Well, I always love tech. When people come to me when they're like have a whole bunch of questions and stuff like research, I'm like an avid Googler.
Same.
So definitely like I'm like the go-to for everyone here. So I just really wanted to kind of like focus down in something that can give me like a long-term career and with one company and kind of like build upon that, where I did see like Salesforce had the admin, and then right now I'm even studying for platform app builder. So it's just, you can build upon that and just go from, I guess, that beginning stage to expand on that.
So can you also tell me like what attracted you to Salesforce specifically?
So Salesforce, it seemed like not easy, but it seemed like a software I can grasp, very user-friendly. Before I actually did like one course with ServiceNow, and it was like completely different just because I think Salesforce put more effort into the modules and the trailheads and stuff, kind of give it that like, easy experience, which ServiceNow, you kind of, it's like, you have to dig a little bit further to get a more understanding of their software.
And while you were doing the Salesforce cohort with Tiffany, can you kind of describe for like, somebody that's possibly thinking about joining, like, what was the cohort like for you? And what did you like? What made it easy? What made it easy to understand? Or even what did you like?
I would say with the Salesforce cohort, definitely I love that Tiffany kind of basically put out the modules for us, because when I joined, I had no idea about Salesforce. So I felt kind of like I was starting behind, but it really wasn't. I just did the modules, get that learning of everything. And then when I joined the cohort and joined after 6 p.m., basically just getting that one-on-one experience and how to use it, like the pick list and the fields and objects and things of that nature, it really helped out in how to implement it sooner than just learning by myself.
And what I also like that you touched upon too a lot earlier in the interview is you also said that, you guys were able to actually work on hands-on experience in addition to doing the modules. Can you also talk a little bit more about that for people who are like, unsure of how they would be able to add, stuff to their portfolio, if you will?
Oh, sure. I would say when we were talking with the client, it was super helpful. Basically, even right now, I mean, I'm just a builder, kind of in the background per se, but I think what made me stand out is that I know how to talk to people, kind of think of the questions before. So we actually wrote them down before we spoke with the client with Bot. any suggested solutions, kind of get where the issues were in their business and working from there and trying to build out a solution that is usable as possible for that client.
Understood. And also too, I'd like to also know, like, what was like the process like for you landing your role? Like, what is it that you do now, and how was that process after Vibe?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I did take the admin test. It was not an easy process. I actually failed one time. So it was like, oh my gosh. But, but after, I definitely bounced back after a few months and studied some more and getting my certification. I want to be realistic with people, is you definitely need to put the work in. And I would say, if you can, do a portfolio in regard to like maybe do a developer org and kind of build that out, talk about it on LinkedIn. But it will definitely some time from getting this position and between my certification. So I would say definitely, if you can, just work as much as possible in regards to the trailheads and getting that understanding as much as you can.
Mm-hmm. So what is it that you do now?
So I'm a Salesforce consultant, a junior one. Mm-hmm. So it's very different just because from an admin, you're just with that one company, right? Yeah. So here we have multiple clients. I'm on 8 different client teams. Mm-hmm. So it definitely gives you that experience in regards to see how people do their business and how they like to have it set up. And I do a lot of flows and pretty much almost every day.
And I'm sorry, can you also talk about flows for people who don't know what flows are? So what do you mean?
I'm sorry. So Salesforce Flows is pretty much like an upgraded workflow rules and process builder is with Flow. We literally do everything with Flow at my company. We do not use workflow rules at all or process builders. So it's basically that automation that you can do in the background or in the forefront for the end user.
And then can you also tell me, like, the roles that you had previously before, has that helped you with landing this role? Like, did you have any skills that were transferable that assisted you with like letting your hiring manager know, like, oh, you know what, this is who we want on the team?
Oh, definitely. I would say just before, even with event work, I was able to talk to people. I know how to, have that discussion and just get some like one-on-one experience with them, with the client or the company. Or my other past position, I was actually in a legal department, which you wouldn't even think about Salesforce, but I definitely used that to my advantage. And basically every time I was kind of like the super user, basically. So people basically came to me for Salesforce stuff, where I definitely suggested like a lot of solutions, as much as I could anyway. About like web to case, email to case, we did that, and even Service Cloud. Definitely a lot for sure. So if you are in a company that uses Salesforce, I would say just write those tasks down that you are doing and use that to your advantage in regards to talking about it in the interviews or even in your resume. It's super helpful to make you stand out for sure.
And then also too, my question for you is like, what are some benefits like to working, in the tech ecosystem for you? What are some benefits that stand out for you that you think, possibly other people might like find attractive?
Definitely remote, obviously.
Of course.
So I love it that I can work from home. I really couldn't just work anywhere, but right now I'm just working from home, and maybe eventually I think probably after a year, once I get settled, I will start taking my laptop and moving around, maybe get some Airbnbs and moving around the world. So, that's super helpful to me. And also like when family comes over, I can actually, engage with them. Yes. So it's great. Also, they gave me a laptop for sure. So that's super helpful. There's so many with this company for sure that you, I get that mentorship. where I get that one-on-one time with the developers, and it helped me if I'm like stuck on the flows or certain projects that I'm assigned on. I get that one-on-one mentorship for sure. So I would look for, if you're looking for like a smaller company that where you can get that time, I would say that would be very helpful in your career for sure.
And then for anybody that's like watching this and that's a little hesitant on like joining a cohort, that might be a little afraid because they feel like they may not be like, I guess, experienced or skilled enough, what advice would you share with them?
I would say just definitely try for sure. I mean, if you can, just put that money that, the cohort asks for and put aside, do it. And if you're really serious about it, you'll obviously grow from the experience, and also it'll give you some skills that you can take with you forever. So I definitely recommend you guys like forever. You can kind of change like the course of my career just for even investing that time, with you guys, and even investing in myself, so I commend you guys completely.